care of something here. So, is California gonna finally get some sense and go red? I don't really know. I just know that over the weekend, last weekend, there was actually in Beverly Hills, there was a Trump rally, and there was a lot of people turned out. And it wasn't a Trump rally like we're used to. It was just people lining the streets with Trump flags and Trump banners saying Trump 2028. And I have not seen that in Los Angeles before. I've seen it pop up in other parts of the state. But could it be that the people are just done with their incompetent leaders? Could it be? And Trump is, doing a good job. He's been in office 6 months and he's got so many things accomplished. And it's just mind-blowing the things that he's gotten accomplished in 6 months. He's ended wars. He ended the Congo Rwanda war that had been going on for 30 years. He had them 2 weeks ago at the White House, and they signed a peace deal after 30 years. So we can only hope, because the leaders in California have just driven it off of a cliff. I saw this article that said that their state budget, hey Rainey, the state budget in California was $60 billion short. Wrap your head around that. $16 billion short. And what does Gavin Newsom do? I am in the USA. Gavin Newsom proposed $60 billion in new spending when there's a $16 billion deficit. A $16 billion deficit, and his answer, instead of cutting spending, is more spending. Apparently he thinks that spending $60 billion more will make up for the $16 billion that they're short. I don't know where he gets that from. I do not know where he gets that from. So, in Beverly Hills last weekend, the people were lining the streets, waving Trump flags. Welcome, Rainey. Well, he, they were lining the streets waving Trump flags. And I don't know. I don't think I haven't seen Californians support a Republican since Ronald Reagan 40 years ago. No, I'm not on Grindr. $40 years ago. That's just, maybe they're starting to see the light. Yes, I'm a Republican. Maybe they're starting to see that their Montana, that their leaders have sold them a bill of goods that they can't deliver. Here's something. There's a proposed high-speed rail project that was to go from San Francisco to Los Angeles. After 20 years and $30 billion, not 1 inch of track has been laid. And instead of trying to see what the issue was, he said, well, we'll just make it shorter. So now what was supposed to go to Los Angeles, from Los Angeles to San Francisco, now goes from an hour south of San Francisco to an hour north of Los Angeles, and still no tracks have been laid. It really is the world's largest boondoggle. Yes, Trump has done some amazing things. Hey, Zach, welcome. Yeah, tracks growing on some arms, yeah. It's just mind-blowing, the amount of stupidity. Here's another thing, and this is why I think the people in Los Angeles are pissed off. It's been, what, 6-8 months since the Pacific Palisades fire that swept across LA. And in 6 months, only 10 housing permits have been granted. Only 10. People lost their homes by the hundreds of thousands. And Mayor Karen Bass says that they're going to replace individual homes with units, meaning I would surmise apartment complexes. Well, it needs to be addressed. And Mayor Bass saying that they were going to replace individual houses with apartment complexes is not the right answer. You know, we know that property in California is overvalued. And instead of Mayor Bass, accepting the government's offer of help with dealing with the insurance companies, she's turned them down. The government has offered grants to help these people rebuild their houses. Right. You're right, Zach. As AI is used more and more, there will be fewer high-paid stars and the tax money will dwindle. That's correct. And the answer, instead of raising taxes, would be to lower taxes to create an incentive for companies to come in, but instead they are raising taxes more. It's just mind-boggling. And then Gavin Newsom wants to bring California to the rest of the country. Gavin Newsom's wife said, we need to California America. It's like, no, we don't. And instead of being called First Lady, she's chosen to be called First Partner. Which, from what I know, if you have a life partner, then you are not married. Am I right on that? Am I right on that? That if you call your spouse your life partner, hey, femboy Zimp. Well, you're welcome, Dark. I think what we're watching is the implosion of the Democratic Party, because they're, instead of stating what their values are, what their vision is for the country, they're only saying, we hate Trump. We hate Trump. Well, hating someone is not your vision for the country, and how you think your vision would be different from the current one. Because, and here's another issue that Democrats have. You have people like Mamdani is how his name is pronounced, in New York, that has said that people should not be allowed to own property, that the city should own all the grocery stores. Yes, I do like Trump. And that the city should own anything that's produced. Well, you don't have to come here, Liam. That's straight up communism, owning everything. Owning the businesses, the property. That's communism. And communism doesn't work because communism controls what you're allowed to say, what you're allowed to do, what you're allowed to eat, what you're allowed to buy. Yes, communism controls everything. You are not allowed to buy the kind of car you want to buy. They tell you what you're allowed to buy. And that's not what this country stands for. This country stands for individual rights. You have the right to free speech. In a communist country, you are not allowed to speak out against your government at all. So that's what I got for y'all today. We will be back tomorrow. Take care. Bye for now.